Attention gamers. Last week I rolled Tiny Dumbledore and showed that online meta of influencers racing other influencers with street cred so they can get paid to drown themselves in rich bitch ice cubes gave me the revelation that movement speed is just this on this pick, and after absolutely urinating on an enemy ADC time after time with the strategy, nothing could get me down. Well, except for standard League of Legends players reeking of titty milk with some deranged sense of having to win arguments online.
You are just late and wrong, as always!
And to that I just want to say, maybe educate yourself on the pro match where G2 was taken against their will to pound town by BLG, who picked none other than Hagrid's ballsack mid, with sure Elias, and popped off harder than the champagne cork in my room when I could pathetically celebrate proving a piece of shit wrong in my comments. But I can't help that I'm like Rift Morpheus when it comes to League tech, it's just a gift. When other people see a sandwich I squint my eyes and see Steve Harvey, which brings me to the next oversight that Uncle Rito slipped into their patch notes. When talking about a small seemingly meaningless buff to Fiddlesticks, they specifically called out its impact on him in the support role. And it just so turns out that this champ may have literally been made for this role, as it has the tools for every situation. When you are supporting a refugee from Thresh's Lantern who can't dodge for shit, you can just scare the guy who would have taken a fourth shot harder than a frat boy, preventing her dumbass from dying. When the enemy team actually cares about objectives, you have the tools to go freaky fiddle as a mage right in the middle of chaos, because your ability to suck off multiple people makes you deceptively tanky. I'd need to check my math here, but in a lane with 2 people it's roughly 2 times more effective, and almost always catches little shitters off guard when they think they've won a fight. When the bad guys call for backup in the form of some sobbing band-aid, you tell them you need to step out to take a work call. Psych bitch, you are back with a swirling vortex of soon-to-be-dead midget mummy parts. When the enemy has a spell shield, you just emote to bait it holy fucking airball, as the twats on TikTok would say, or like when a dipshit who watches too much Dante's tries to dive, you just show him a picture of a huntsman spider and then enjoy him whining in all chat about how OP your fear is. Even when you fall behind, you then have the ability as the chairman of the surprise party planning committee to throw a hell of a banger, which results in quite a good memory, so really you just have it all. When they engage, you can fear; when they fight, you can siphon; when they group, you can gangbang; and when they have an Aurelia who has 10 kills 14 minutes into the game because your Quinn's mom smoked way too many cigarettes during pregnancy, you can forfeit. There's nothing you can't do, but let's talk about how I got here. This started with me first seeing that a champ I play often was buffed via a free helper app that sponsors my madness. Outside of giving game updates, it also gives me previews of my team members while in Champ Select, as well as recommended builds for my pick that can be imported directly into my buggy-ass client. During loading screen I can see the full scouting report of all the players in the game, and then once in there it is helpful things like when Sivir pops barrier, you can time when it will be up again. Sure, Mundo gets rolled because he is a bronzy against plats, which just means it's time to stick M with this fiddle. Anyways, after Mundo has fed enough for one Falcon Punch to remove your whole team and you lose, it provides you with actual helpful endgame summaries so that you can improve and theory craft like I do in the rest of this video. So thank Professor for sponsoring my content and get their app for free below. Alright, now this fiddle tech is actually more troll than an NPC in Senjin Village if you don't build correctly, so let's break down the runes. First strike is the jelly to this horny hay bag's passive, as you want to be hitting from Stealth of War, aka striking first anyways on him. These 2 rows you can go whatever floats your steward little boat, I could give a shit, they are all equal in my eyes, but then Jakob trades is the secret sauce. Support items are like a casino buffet when it comes to the variety they pack in stats, so with one of the cheapest build paths ever, after just 2 items and boots you will have 10 ability haste and 25 adaptive force, all from a shitty secondary rune. Then hunting is dope, but on Fitty Boy you want it to be ultimate, and Taste of Blood makes it when you suck off like 6 dudes you have the stamina to keep going as if you were a regular at Diddy parties. This is the core build. These items all serve a purpose. The tank support upgrade heals you on surprise party ultimates and gives you the boost of zoomies to position that storm of douchebag damage filled crows. Malignance gives you a more stable supply chain of ults, considering that is why you are playing this pick, and Zeke's literally gives you a 30% slow to everyone within your ultimate, so this quite literally is a build made for this Clown Academy dropout. Then you can finish off with pretty much whatever gets your dick hard. I see some sites saying Trailblazer is cool if you have absolutely no balls, but I typically go Rocket Belt to lower my margin of error on ult placements, and then Rabadons because at that point in the game I want to be felt, if you know what I mean. Let's get into a few examples. As you see, game 1 we're up against Lava Lamp Varus and the PMS Prom Queen, and typically you have to be careful pulling it all in as a squishy mage, but Taste of Blood plus a full channel Rainbow Suck and Morg is left there stunned like she just dropped her headset on the ground and had to bend over to pick it up, but while she was stuck there autoing in disbelief, we took advantage of that NPC type of behavior for the double. Then this whole sequence just smells more like bronze than a slut with a fresh fake tan, as I first tell a scary story to the bride, but then Senna is all like, let's tie her up and piss on her a bit, to which I obliged before backing off. But my ADC is apparently suicidal at times, so I have to pull a sequence of very uncoordinated steps to keep her healed, Legolas silenced, and me snorting enough sugar through this pixie stick to kill him in time. When I get my ult, I like to play this game where the enemy thinks we base to buy items, but really I just scanned a section of the tall grass, knowing they aren't accustomed to sniffing out surprise parties yet, and rumor has it if I wasn't allergic to pushing the E key on my keyboard this would have been way smoother. I'm not saying I'm good at the game, I'm saying this pick is danker than some fresh Mary Jane, and we did end up finishing off the archer after anyways. These surprises typically leave the enemy treating the bot lane like a tag team match, which is exactly what you like to see, because it typically means one of them is going to be puckering their assholes so hard under tower they could shit cement, which lines up some dives that are so easy I can pull them off with a random Senna. Then the beauty of this pick is 1 minute the enemy thinks they just have better tempo than us and they go to shove a wave in, and the next minute there's a bunch of inflatable balloon animals being shoved so far up their ass they can taste cheap latex in the back of their throats. My only regret is that for a second time their little bitch with the bow gave me a case of the blue balls. Anyways, by mid-game you have 2 charges of red trinkets at all times, which means your team automatically controls the vision on the rift, and any gala-dressed demon who tries to compete will get Duke Nukemed. But keep in mind your kit also has slows, silences and fears, which makes chasing down picks easier than offending woke Karens. So even when a large hobbling boulder rudely interrupts the party I had planned for him and the fight is looking bleak, I have the tools to survive while also feeling safe enough to suck and slay, as the kids say at home. This results in a one-sided bloodbath, as even without my ult I have more utility than a knife that cuts up cardboard, and with that the bad guys fall one at a time like tilted dominoes and they give up in example 1. Example 2 is a bit more of a personal pop-off, as I am supporting a kamikaze Tristana with a death wish, but I can see the submarine before he roots and stuns her for 12 straight seconds, and then I chase away the goth like a barking chihuahua before rejoining the Titanic reenactment just in time to heal up the troops. At this point the Titan submarine has played all his cards, and the PS4 controller that operates his moves may have run out of batteries, so his only option is to implode in front of us. We arrive back to lane, and I guess the gay gem collector enjoyed our company the first time, so he makes another prompt visit, and I'm not sure why these children thought they could stand their ground, but a silence, a spooky story and a suck later, and it wasn't a happy ending for them. Once I hit 6 I start using my stunt doubles to win the war on vision for me, because a few seconds of privacy at this point is all I need to inform this walking arsenal of Halo 2 weapons that his presence is no longer needed. And then since Tristana players are all like happy hoppy, I'm so sloppy she wants to continue for the double, and I am all for that level of douchery in this case. Then the enemy team can't feasibly keep the river and all 3 lane shrubs warded at all times, but they still have to step up to the wave, so at this point it makes this strategy pretty brain dead, as I just ult on cooldown, which even with no damage items will melt any ADC from full at this point in the game. I'm not going to lie, I still have the macro game sense of a plastic water bottle, so we did base to buy when dragon was spawning, which did leave our jungler juggling more dicks than even he would like to, but that's why being in the bot lane is so great, because hiring a clown to attend these sorts of events is just always the thing that knocks the crowds dead when they least expect it. We then overstay like the Fockers at a family dinner, but remember that I have more peel than a banana's foreskin, and being able to point and click it makes me feel like a much better player than I am in cases like this. I then head mid because Professor Akali has a smoky donut deployed in the middle of a bad decision, so I get hired for the job with the description of don't let any goths play with the other kids, which is what I do until the numbers are in our favor to bully Anchor Andy once more. At this point I hadn't been top at all, but there was a tier 1 Turi looking juicy as hell, so I decided Alois up here probably wants to push and a little surprise should enable such bullshit behavior from him. I then jam my clown dick so deep into the enemy jungle it gets pregnant only to run into their groundskeeper, but pushing W means my health goes up while yours goes down, which scares her away and forces her to take the detour that travels through Dead Evelynsville. So with vision control over the whole map and a starved ADC that can't farm anything, I decide to show him once more that no place is safe on the rift with one last solo bolo, and it appears that the control you get with this pick this early is enough to tilt enemies into rage quitting, and so give it a try with my runes and build and let me know if you think I'm onto something here or if I'm just a shitter in Norm's farming YouTube views. Rav out.